So today we're going to be talking about using bounded wildcards to improve flexibility of APIs. All right, so for this, you really just want to uh, add like a specific phrase depending on what parameterized type you're using, whether it's a producer or a consumer. And then they have this acronym in the book that shows which one you should use. And so if it's a producer, you put like a question mark and then extends and then your E. And then if it's a consumer, you put a question mark and then super and then E. And so we found this definition of a stack, and it's just a basic stack with a push and a pop, and it is empty. And so let's say we just wanted to have a stack of numbers, so we make a stack of numbers, and then we have some integers, and we just want to push all of the integers onto the stack. And so we made this push all method without the wildcard type, and so it's a little deficient just because it's not there. And since the question mark extends is added there, you can do that. And so now if it was like if you're trying to add numbers to an integer, it would work instead of failing. And then I'll have Daniel tell you what you might do for popping all of them.
So similarly with popping, it's what we would call a consumer. Like we were talking about before, producer extends, consumer super. So push is considered a producer because you are producing items, you are adding things to a stack, and pushing would be considered a consumer. It is taking things away from the stack. And so here is without the wildcard. It would work in some cases, just like the push, but not in all cases. It would have to be exactly, you have to be pushing the exact, the correct type each time. So for it to work for all types, we add this question mark super E, and you could think of it as a template like in C++. This is a way for it to work with all types. Just a couple of important things. Do not use wildcard types as return types. It's only for parameterized types. So if you had a function that returned an object, you would not use the wildcard in the return type. If the user of a class has to think about wildcard types, there's probably something wrong with the class's API. That's just saying that if you have code in a certain part that the user would be looking at, like you can think of the implementation file or the application file. If they're looking at the application file, then they shouldn't have to worry about wildcard types. And finally, if a type parameter appears only once in a method declaration, replace it with a wildcard. And I believe this is just common practice. It's good practice, and it just makes sure that there are no errors. So there you go.